Mogul Sean Diddy Combs learning his fate in a Manhattan courtroom, sentenced to 4 years in prison for his conviction on 2 charges related to prostitution. Combs addressing the court visibly emotional and choked up, saying, quote, "I've been humbled and broken to my core," adding, "I beg your honor for mercy." The judge responding to Combs, saying, "You have a chance to show your children what true change and accountability look like."
You probably saw the headlines. A hip-hop legend, a billionaire businessman, a man once celebrated as the face of modern music, now standing in handcuffs. Sean Diddy Combs, once the king of bad boy records, has fallen from grace. But how did one of the most powerful men in entertainment end up behind bars? What really happened inside that courtroom? And what does his sentence mean for the future of celebrity accountability? Stay tuned, because in this video, we'll walk you through Diddy's shocking trial, the evidence that brought him down, and the moment he heard his fate. If you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe, give this video a like, and turn on notifications, because we bring you the real stories behind the headlines. It all began in September 2024 when Sean Diddy Combs was indicted in Manhattan. The charges were serious and career-shattering. Racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking, 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution under the Mann Act, a law from 1910 that makes it illegal to transport people across state lines for sexual purposes. Prosecutors claim that Diddy used money, influence, drugs, and violence to control women and coerce them into what they described as freak-offs, wild, drug-fueled sex parties in hotels. They said he paid male escorts, threatened his partners, and used his wealth and fame to hide years of abuse and manipulation. Among the accusers was singer Cassie Ventura, who had already filed a civil suit against him the year before. There was also another woman, identified only as Jane, who said she was groomed and trafficked by Diddy and his team. Combs denied everything. He pleaded not guilty on all counts, claiming the allegations were false, exaggerated, and part of a plan to destroy his legacy. Fast forward to May 2025, the trial began in New York federal court. Over the next several weeks, the courtroom heard testimonies from former girlfriends, employees, bodyguards, hotel staff, and male escorts. Prosecutors laid out their evidence: hotel and flight records, secret payments to escorts, surveillance footage of people being escorted into hotel suites, and chilling witness accounts describing physical and psychological abuse. They called these gatherings freak-offs, sessions filled with drugs, alcohol, and cameras rolling, allegedly organized and controlled by Combs himself. One witness told jurors that Diddy would threaten to cut people off financially or expose private videos if they didn't do what he wanted. The defense argued it was all consensual, that Diddy lived a wild lifestyle but broke no laws. They said prosecutors twisted normal adult relationships into crimes because of his fame. Then, after weeks of shocking testimony, it all came down to the verdict. On July 2nd, 2025, after 3 tense days of jury deliberation, the decision was in. Diddy was found guilty on 2 counts: transportation to engage in prostitution under the Mann Act. He was acquitted of the more serious charges, racketeering and sex trafficking, which the jury felt weren't proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Still, the guilty verdict was devastating. The judge denied him bail, ordering that he remain behind bars until sentencing. In that moment, the man who once ruled the charts faced a new reality: a prison cell. October 3rd, 2025. The courtroom was silent as Diddy stood before Judge Arun Subramanian to hear his fate. The judge reviewed the case, the evidence, and Diddy's long history of power and privilege. Then came the sentence: 50 months in federal prison. That's just over 4 years, plus a $500,000 fine and 5 years of supervised release after prison. Because Diddy had already been in custody since 2024, he received credit for time served, cutting down his remaining years behind bars. Before the sentence was handed down, Diddy spoke. He told the court, "I take full responsibility for my actions. What I did was wrong, disgusting, and it hurt people I loved." I'm truly sorry. Judge Subramanian, however, wasn't moved by his past success or philanthropy. He told Diddy, "Your fame does not erase your responsibility. Justice must apply equally, even to the powerful." With that, the gavel fell, and Sean Diddy Combs was officially sentenced to federal prison. The aftermath of the sentencing rippled through the entertainment world. Fans were divided, some shocked, others saying justice had finally caught up. Celebrities who once worked with Diddy stayed silent, while survivor advocates praised the verdict, calling it a turning point for accountability in Hollywood. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team filed notice of appeal, claiming the prosecution exaggerated the case and that certain evidence should never have been admitted. But for now, he remains in custody, serving his sentence in a federal correctional facility. For decades, Diddy was more than a music mogul. He was an empire. Bad Boy Records, Ciroc Vodka, Sean John Clothing. His brand stood for success, luxury, and hustle. Now his name sits in the same headlines as words like guilty, trial, and sentenced. It's a haunting reminder of how power, unchecked, can destroy lives, including your own. The question now is, can Sean Diddy Combs ever rebuild? Or has his empire officially collapsed? Sean Diddy Combs' story is a powerful lesson, one that fame, wealth, and talent can't shield anyone from the truth. When the cameras fade and the music stops, only your actions remain. What do you think? Was the 4-year sentence enough? Or should it have been longer considering the allegations? Let's talk about it in the comments below, and if you believe in holding even the powerful accountable, hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because here we tell the stories others are afraid to tell. This is the True Crime Journal, where every story ends with justice.